Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. That's a really mean saying, isn't it? Kill two birds with one stone. I had made, I made a journal. My mouth was rented. I made a journal, and a very simple journal, and I'm setting the theme of this journal on the cover. This project can be done on canvas, on masonite, whatever, but for this purpose, it's going to be the front cover of the journal. And it's a little hand-bound journal that I made. And you can see the video on this. It's in the community because I did it as a live class, how to make this. I'll put the link below. So what I've got for this is, I've got some paper that was gifted to me by my friend Cheryl. And it's scrap music paper, so I'm going to be using that. What I also did up here is, because I'm going to use everything out of this paper, I took the Here and There collection by Tim Holtz and Enjoy the Journey, and I stamped that up here with Stays On, and I'm going to tear it, because I'm going to use that. Let me put that away now. And so I've got that. And then for the paints, I'm going to be using the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, Interference Blue, Phthalo Green Blue, Quinacridone Burnt Orange, Quinacridone Magenta, and I'm not using the Titanium White because I want something a little bit more thick and not chalky, but something with a bit more ground to it. And I've got on my palette, I'm going to be using the white gesso. I'm going to be using the matte medium as the glue. We'll see how this turns out. So what I want to call this is the blues. The idea is, I love blues music, so looking at music paper, and I'm going to be using blue. So that's, I mean, it's kind of boring, but I think the blues. So the cover of this, so what I want to do, I want to put this here, and I'm going to tear it. So I'm just going to get an edge to it here, and right there. So I'm just going to set that up. And what would have been the smarter thing to do was to collage this actually on this before sewing it. But so the way I'm going to do the tear, I'm going to tear it towards me so it will show the edge. If you tear it away, you're not going to have that extra edge on it. Oh, here's a perfect example. That I want that type of thing. So pulling it towards you, we'll get that. Pulling it away from you, you don't. See the difference? It's showing and you don't have it there. So that'll get me that I'll get started with that. And let's see. So then I'm going to take this and this one here, because I've got all the edges here, I'm going to tear this one away from me. You notice I didn't fold it first because I want that to be rough, a rough tear, like that. And I think I might put it maybe here. I don't know yet where I'm going to be putting it. And you can also use all this other stuff. You can, collage more stuff on there if your piece is thin. I should be okay with that. And so I'm going to get right to collaging it. And I'm going to use my flat brush. Whoops. Which is the side here. Now, one of the things that I like to do when I make my covers is I like to, make them rough and, distressed and all that stuff. I'm not worrying so much about this one here because I can pretty well guarantee that when this book, probably this little journal, when it gets about, I don't know, 4 or 5 pages into it, the front cover is going to be mangled, covered in paint and all that stuff. I don't mind that. That's just my style. I don't worry about getting paint on other pages. Because the way that I work with visual journals is I use them more for studies to prepare for a larger piece. Let me just put a little bit more on there. All right. And this is just so it's movable. And this is going to take a little bit of finagling. I've got the edge just lined up so I can see the bottom of the paper. Oh, it went too high. Oh well, too late now. It's stuck on there. Actually, the better brush to use for that is my Aqualon brushes. The Aqualon brushes have a flat edge on them. You can use anything for that. Then this piece here, I'll just fold it over. Oh, I could have made this as an actual formal cover. Oh, I could have wrapped it right around. But oh, you know what? I don't think it was long enough for that. No, it wasn't long enough. But that would have been a good idea. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of that. It's because I wasn't thinking. So I'm going to put that over. Not worried about completely covering the spine because I don't mind the spine being exposed, but you can always trim it. There we go. And then I'm just going to put a very light layer of medium on this because I don't know if the print on this music paper will be permanent after I start rubbing the paint on there. I'm going to quickly hit this with the heat gun. So I'm going to let that sit for a sec. So what I want to do now is I want to take this and it doesn't really matter what side I do this on. I'm just going to draw. I'm going to draw. Oh, I like that side. So I'm going to draw it on this. No, this side. I'm going to draw a circle. And then I'm going to draw some leaves. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear it. Now I want the edges to show, so I would typically tear it towards me. So for this one here, I'm going to tear this away from me. Because I want to follow the lines. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the music paper and I'm creating a cutout for a sketchy flower. I won't be able to get that for these though. I'll have to cut these out. I may not use these. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't like the idea of the flower now. So let me just randomly, because I love circles. So I'll just do it in circles. One there, one there. Ooh, and a small one. And I'm going to do only 3. 3 is a pleasing number for composition. Like that. Okay, put that aside. Alright, so now while that's drying, I'm going to take this with a bit of the gesso. And I'm just going to put some gesso on there. Oh, I did the wrong side. I did the wrong side on that one. Because I'm putting color on this. It should be this side. And this one here, I'm not going to worry about gessoing because we're going to be working on that. I'm going to hit this with the heat gun again. That I'm not going to touch for now. This is where we're going to have some fun. So what I want to do is I want to work with, I'm going to make a cerulean blue. I'm going to use different values of the blue, and then I'm also going to make an alizarin crimson to kind of get in there. With the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, as of right now, they don't make alizarin crimson. Why? I have no idea. But I can make my own using quinacridone magenta, quinacridone burnt orange, and a touch of phthalo green blue. So I'm going to take roughly equal parts, and I'm going to mix that together. And take roughly 1/4 of that. And the formula for this, you really have to play with it. There we go. That's beautiful. And then you can put it into something that's more red by adding, let's say naphtha red to it, or put more of the magenta, or if you want it more neutral, put some more of the orange. You want it really dulled down, add more of the green. While I'm here, well, let me take what's left on the brush with the gesso. I'm going to take some phthalo blue. Now the problem with using a synthetic brush for this is that you get these perfect edges, and what I'm looking for is, with a dry bristle brush, the gesso is quite dry, I'm looking for that. But better yet, what would be better is with my fingers. Now, let's see what we can get with this first. So all I'm going to do, even that's too much, start off with a light, and then I'm going to add dark, dark, dark. The reason why I don't want to start strict with the phthalo blue is that it's really hard to get out of the brush because phthalo blue is very high staining. So start with the light and then add a bit more of the blue in there, then go apply the paint, then go into a bit more phthalo blue, then a speck of phthalo green. Finger painting with this style is really nice with the phthalo colors. I don't like it because it's very high staining. This is a very rough technique. Going to some more white. This is a very rough technique on your brush, so make sure you don't use anything that's expensive. I like that there. And a bit more blue, a bit more green. I want to make sure that what I'm doing has a lot of action in it, that it's not boring. And I'm just going to put some color on here. So this one I'm going to start with the dark, then I'm going to work backwards with the light. Now I'll pick up a bit more light. And you notice I'm not covering everything. These are a bit too green for me. I want these to be a little bit more blue. Oh, I forgot to bring something out. Got that. So that's the base of that. I have to get my stuff out of the way. Oh, look, easy to find. Rose gold. I want rose gold. You know why? Because I just bought a wrist a band for my Fitbit in rose gold. I just got a new phone case delivered with rose gold, so that's going to be my color for now. That's going to be my color. These are only going to be for the circles. You can use wax metallics as well if you want. Now I'm going to hit this with the heat gun for a sec. Take my finger and I'm just going to go round and round and round. That's it, leaving that. Take this one, start in the middle, round and round and round. Whoops. Leave that. Didn't need that much paint. And this metallics is slightly transparent, so I can really play with the colors and get some of that texture edges to make it look like it's round. See? I want the paint a little bit thicker. You can use a brush if you want. This one might be, I'll put a little bit more on that. Those aside to dry, and on this one here now, I'm going to take that and just going to do the edge. Yeah, I could have used a brush for this. Could have used a brush. Just something else I have to clean. Use whatever you want. So I would suggest using a color that you like working with. If you only have, let's say, like this music paper, that's the only paper I have. So I would work them with a color that I'm comfortable with, or and a technique I'm comfortable with. If you know, with the piece, you know, if I had lots of this music paper, I would experiment. Because I only have this, then I'm going to be a little more careful. Just take little bits and just... Now what I'm going to do next, you guys may not be comfortable doing this. That's completely up to you. You know, big brother and all. I'm going to take my finger, put it into the paint, and put my fingerprint in the corner. That's up to you. You don't have to do that. It's kind of smushy. Let's lighten that up a little bit. Here we go. Like so. I'm going to hit that with the heat gun for a bit. I'm going to take the interference blue and I'm just going to put some interference blue roughly over everything, because that way with the way, depending on how it's turned, it's going to give a hologram effect. You don't have to do that. I do. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let everything dry. With the metallics, I could use the heat gun to start it, but because it's so thick, I have to let it dry naturally. Otherwise, it'll just be the top that dries, the inside won't. When I come back, I'm going to put all this together. It's getting hot in here. We're in our starting summer temperatures. Oh my God. Senior moment. If I was a paintbrush, where would I... Take a paintbrush and collage. So I did a dry fit. That's the one I'm looking at doing. So I'm going to have my matte medium. And I'm going to put that on there. And I'm not going to put the matte medium on the book first because it'll go all over the place. Because it would alter the interference. I would lose the effect of the interference. Now, you could do matte medium over everything, then put interference on top of that. That'll work too. Let's overlap that one like this. A lot of the projects I'm going to be doing in the mixed media course is going to be stuff that doesn't require you to buy a whole bunch of things. There's nothing more frustrating than, you know, wanting to make something and you find out you have to buy a whack load of stuff. Not happening. This one I'm going to leave plain. I'm going to leave that plain, raw. It's raw. So let me ask you this. I'm leaving this raw. Why do you think I would want to collage the text, enjoy the journey, raw without altering it? So that's my question to you. That's dry, so I'm going to put, oh no, I can't put matte medium on that, I'll lose the shine. So I'm going to take my Staedtler Lumicolor Permanent Special. It has to be the Permanent Special to be permanent on something porous. Oh, and I am going to need... I'll use my bookbinding thing. And I'm just going to... Oops, that paint wasn't quite dry there. Wasn't quite. So all I'm doing is I'm just making little sketchy circles. just like that. And then I'm going to take, I actually would prefer doing it with paint. I would say use a toothpick for this. So I'm going to use the quinacridone mixtures. I'm going to use that. Didn't want to use black. If you want to make these more black, then just add more green. I think black with this would be a little bit too strong. This is a tool that I'm using for my book binding. It's actually, I think it's for scribing. I don't know. I think I picked it up at Lee Valley. And on the point for something small, on the side for big dots. And then clean that off, and then repeat with the gesso. So it's white and black dots. Oops, that's a bit thick. Could have used titanium white for this. Might have been a bit thick for, or thin for that. I'm going to get a small brush, dip it into the water. These lines are a little bit thin, so I'm just going to come in, paint right over them. I'm going to put a bit more green in there. Adding green to a red will make a chromatic black. The beauty with the way that I'm doing it is that it's transparent. Get some bigger dots here. There we go. You can make, stems and put flowers. I like them just as circles. That's it. That's it on that. So then from here you can further work with it. You can take, you can take your finger and you can just come in and play with a little bit more color, because now the stuff is dried, just to make it a little bit more grungy. I love grunge. If you don't, that's fine. All have our own style. I love grunge. I love street art. Tasteful street art. I almost got paint in my face. Tasteful street art. Where we live, there's a half pipe where the kids do skateboarding and stuff like that. It's full of graffiti, but it's artistic graffiti. I should get a picture of it. The kids have done a really nice job. With stuff like that, they have an outlet. Sometimes they don't respect private property. So you can build up, and also you can, then from here, you can go around as well. Just to build up a little bit more shadow. This is up to you. You can use a toothpick if you want. That's up to you. So I'd love to hear from you. Comment below why you think I left the Enjoy the Journey raw. Let me know why you think I left it raw and unaltered. I would love to hear from you for that. Alrighty, that's it. Unfortunately, there's no giveaway with this because it's my journal. Maybe when I'm done the journal, I'll give it. That's a lot of pages to work through. I like doing this one for myself, so I'm hoping you guys will comment anyways with why you think I didn't alter the word piece, even though I'm not doing a giveaway. But it is what it is. So I'd like to hear from you. Now, also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you won't miss anything. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Comment below the answer to my question. And that's it. So as I go through the journal, without answering the question myself, you'll start seeing, patterns and trends, and it's more of an experimental journal because everything with mixed media is made to be fun, and I'm always asking what if I wonder what would happen, those types of questions when I'm experimenting. And it just helps build this is my little lab. This is my lab of where I do my experiments. So again, link it below to the community so you can see how to make your own journal like this. And I would love it if you would join me on this journey to do some experiments and see what happens when we start asking the deep, deep questions. Alrighty, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.